So instead of coding on a random Saturday morning like any developer would, I was spending my time browsing Twitter and I came across this account, Code and Cocktails. In my last video, I kind of mentioned that the developer community in Ghana is not that active, at least not like how it is in other countries. I think I basically said it's non-existent, and I still stand by that. But I think this community, Code and Cocktails, they are doing something in that direction. So let's just explore their website. And the main reason why I want to do this video is they conduct a survey every single year. Well, they started last year, so this year is going to be their second year. They'll be doing this year's one on 1st August. So we will go through that survey for last year, see why the developer trend is in Ghana and how many people have responded, all those things. First of all, before we do that, let's just go through their website. And I have to say, their website is really nice. It's really, really clean, like smooth. And they have a WhatsApp community, so you can click and join. I'm going to click and join after this video. And obviously, it was built with Next.js and Framer. Somehow they have Railway and Vessel here. I think maybe the images are on Railway and the main front end is hosted on Vessel. I don't know. I don't know why the images are on Cloudinary. Interesting. I don't know what is on Railway. Maybe they are linking their backend URL directly over here. I'm tempted to just inspect this. Honestly, let me go to the network tabs. Let's do a refresh. Let me do all the fetch requests and see where they're coming from. Couldn't cocktails. But there's nothing here about Railway. Yeah, there's nothing here about Railway. You know, Railway normally they give you their own backend URL. Codeandcocktails.live/past events. This looks like a normal route handler in Next.js.
The next day.
Maybe Wapalizer is just wrong. They get things wrong sometimes. Anyway, let's go through the main survey. The main reason why we are here. Ghana Tech Ecosystem Survey 2024. I think this is good. No. Let me minimize this. Okay, good. Insights, trends, recommendation for a thriving tech ecosystem presented by Code and Cocktails. Forward. The Ghanaian tech ecosystem is one of the most vibrant and rapidly growing in Africa. I don't know about this, but maybe this. With a youthful population, increasing internet penetration, and surge in digital innovation, Ghana is poised to become a hub for tech talent and entrepreneurship. However, to sustain this growth, it is crucial to understand the current state of the ecosystem, identify challenges, and provide actionable insight for stakeholders. Okay. The Ghana Tech Ecosystem Survey 2024, presented by Coke and Cocktails, is the first edition of an annual survey designed to capture the pulse and the tech ecosystem. Sorry. Designed to capture the pulse of the tech industry in Ghana. This report provides a comprehensive analysis of data collected, offering insights into demographics, industry trends, technical expertise, employment patterns, and challenges faced by professionals. Our goal is to empower stakeholders. This looks like ChatGPT, man. But 2024, oh yeah, ChatGPT was something in 2024. Anyway, our goal is to empower stakeholders, governments, companies, educational institutions, and startups with the knowledge needed to drive innovation and growth. We invite you to explore this report, reflect on its finding, and join us in building a thriving tech ecosystem in Ghana. Okay, let's dive into it. Executive summary. Youthful workforce. The majority of correspondents, 60%, are aged 25 to 34. This is interesting. So the youth, highly a young and dynamic workforce driving innovation. Gender gap, only 12% of their respondents are female. 12% female. That's not bad for a male-dominated industry. Underscoring the need for initiatives to promote gender diversity in tech. Fintech dominance. Fintech is the most represented industry, 32%, followed by e-commerce, 13%, and edtech. Yeah, I belong in this category. I like e-commerce for some reason. I don't know why. Hybrid work models. 73% of professionals work in remote and hybrid models with 3 to 5 days of remote work per week. And that's pretty reasonable. Mine is also hybrid. Mine is also hybrid, so that's fine. Back to this point. I think I know why I like e-commerce. Before we continue, one thing I always tell beginners is e-commerce is the project that you want to build if you want to really understand how to build a software, because there are so many moving parts that you have to think of. How to get products in the carts and how to keep track of that. When something updates on the carts, you make sure you update it everywhere too. So a global state comes in, and once you're able to build a system like that, it opens your mind to a whole lot of possibilities that you were not aware of in the beginning. So that's something that beginners also that's something I always tell beginners to do. Anyway, compensation discrepancies. 38% of correspondents earn less than 50K annually, while 10% earn more than 300K. So the top 10% are really chewing the money. What I want to say is this field is a good field if you want to get a stable job, and a stable job that pays you reasonably. I think it is good to enter tech. Challenges: poor internet infrastructure, lack of career development opportunities, and unrealistic deadlines are the top lines. This is so true, man. I don't know. There's no system that I've built without unrealistic deadlines before. Like, and some are like okay, they are reasonable, but majority of them they are unrealistic, man. We normally end up spending times three of the allocated time or times two of the allocated time to finish building the software. That is just how it is. Recommendations: invest in infrastructure, standardize salaries, promote gender diversity, and foster collaboration within the ecosystem. Okay. We are on page 4 right now. We have 15 pages to go. Okay, this is gonna be a long one. Methodology. The Ghana Tech Ecosystem Survey 2024 was conducted online, targeting professionals across various industries and roles in the tech sector. I hope, because my main thing is people say tech, they throw the word tech around, but it's not software related, and that's what I think is lacking. Somebody can be selling phones and then they'll tell you they're in the tech ecosystem, and that's true, they're in the tech ecosystem. I don't blame them for that, and I don't have any problem with that. But I want something that's software focused. The survey collected responses from 196 participants. Okay, this is good to know. 196. That is a very small number for a survey. So I urge all of you to go and participate this. If you are a developer, go and participate in this. If you're a developer or aspiring developer, go and participate in this for this year. First, I guess I'll put a link down in the description and the comment section. Representing a diverse cross section of the ecosystem. That's not diverse enough. Key data points included demographics, industry roles, technical expertise, employment status, compensation, and challenges. Limitations: the survey relied on self reported data, which may introduce bias. Additionally, the sample size, while representative, may not capture the entire ecosystem. That's true, very true. Future editions will aim to expand the sample size and improve data collection methods. I wish I had discovered this earlier, because today is, I think, 27th or 28th. I don't know. But today is Sunday, and first, I guess, it's within this week. I wish I had more time to just spread this around so that I would get more response from developers. Anyway, overview. Visual data story on insights in the tech ecosystem based on survey respondents. 196 respondents. How, how do I even start reading this? Okay. Generation mix. Out of respondents, what is the generation mix? Gen Z 33%, baby boomers 2%, millennials, and then 9% to Gen X. Okay, the kids are coding. I don't remember the exact age range, but Gen Z is, like the 2000s, baby boomers, like the adults, the growies. Yeah, I think those in their 40s, and millennials is late 20s and late 20s to late 30s. I might be wrong on this, but That's basically how I think about it. And then gender split 172 females, 24 172 males, 24 females. Work mode remote and hybrid work models are the most common, reflecting on shifts towards flexible work environments. So we have 38% remote, on site is 20%, 7% others, and then hybrid is 35%. And I think this is normal. This is normal, yeah. I know some developers that go to work like Monday to Friday, and some they don't go at all, fully remote. They're working for companies outside, and there's me. I work in a company in Ghana, but it's hybrid. I go there when I'm needed. Background: 145 respondents have an engineering background. Eh, Okay, 130 are into engineering, 45 products, and 21 marketing. That's not bad. So far, I don't have problem with any of these stats, except the respondents. 196 is very small, but I think this is normal. Industry standard. Fintech is the leading sector. This is what I have a problem with. Every single person is trying to build a fintech. I was in a space with some Nigerians recently, and they also have the same problem. Every single startup or every single tech company in Nigeria is building a fintech. And I don't know, but I don't know how many times you have to build payment gateways. The funny thing is, none of these payment gateways work reliably. That's the thing. I mean, there are few that work, but like majority of the time, there's small ones that are coming up that brand themselves as fintech. They don't work. They are not reliable, and I've dealt with some rough ones before. The fintech is a leading sector, reflecting Ghana's growing digital financial service ecosystem. Hmm. And health tech. Yeah, I would like to see a lot more innovation in the health tech. My final year project in university was health tech related, so I think I'm happy to be part of this 6%, even though I didn't participate in this. And then edtech, that's good. E-commerce 13. This is why I like this. 39% of respondents work in other industries with with fintech leading, reflecting the growth in financial services ecosystem. Remote work frequency. Most professionals prefer a mix of remote and on-site work. 3 to 5 days a week, 60%. 1 to 2 days a week, 17, and other is 23. Okay. So far, I think the overview is good. So we are going to dive deep into it. The roles, languages, and frameworks, ooh, the controversial parts. Analysis of job roles, preferred coding languages, and commonly used frameworks. Primary roles. Technical roles dominate, but product and business functions are gaining traction. Product is 20%, marketing 15, data is 10, software development is 50%, and others is 5%. And this is good to see. I mean, what I said earlier is I hope this survey is more developer focused, and I think it is. So that's good. Programming languages. Python and JavaScript are the most widely used languages. Python and JavaScript are the most widely used languages, reflecting their versatility and popularity. That's true. These languages are what we call meta languages. You can use them to build almost any system. So I think I'm not surprised. 55.6% PHP, Swift, Ruby, Dart, Go, and others. Okay. Then you have JavaScript. Damn, JavaScript is king, bro. JavaScript is king. JavaScript is always king, man. And as someone who writes JavaScript almost every day, I don't like the language. But you can see its usefulness. It's very useful. It's everywhere. You can't escape it. And then we have Python, 32.7%. That's cool. And Java. This past few months I've been liking Java more just because I got into Android development, basically mobile development with React Native, and then I realized I need to learn Kotlin to be able to build certain modules for Android. So I got into Kotlin development, and I begin to appreciate Java more. So it's good to see Java here still thriving. it's a cool ecosystem, man. And I've been learning more about Kotlin, just trying to build backends with it. So I'm happy to see Java here still thriving. The percentages sum to more than 100% because many correspondents use multiple programming languages. Okay, that's expected. By the way, they just sum these guys up over here is interesting. If you're a beginner trying to get into software, learn JavaScript or Python. I will tell you to learn JavaScript mainly because JavaScript is everywhere. You can use JavaScript to build web apps easily, front end and back end. You can use it to build mobile apps easily. So you can't go wrong with choosing JavaScript. Python, backend, data, machine learning, you are good. And then frameworks. And based on this, you can kind of guess the frameworks that are winning. Of course, the most popular JavaScript framework is React, and the most popular Python framework is Django. So this is it. 40% is React and 11% is Django. Damn. Okay. I was expecting this to be a bit more close, like 20 something percent, just like how this is far. Damn. Front end React and back end Django slash Flask frameworks are key areas of expertise. And then Vue is 10%. I think Vue is used a lot more in this part of our world, in Ghana. I know a couple of Vue devs. And others. I just like how they wrap the rest of the frameworks like others. This one to landing like others. Come on. And I would love to see a more deep dive analysis. When you look at other developer surveys like Stack Overflow and JavaScript surveys, they put it in a website and it's very interactive. The charts are very interactive and you can go deep and see every detail of the survey. But this one, they've put it in a PDF, which is, it looks good and it's informative, but you can't really go deep if you want to see certain things. So I think that could be an improvement on this year's version. So instead of them using PDF, they build a whole survey results page with charts and everything. And I think I'll reach out to them to see how I can help achieve that. The percentages sum to more than 100% because, again, this thing. Okay. Collaboration tools. We are on page 7, so you're almost done. Collaboration tools are essential for remote and hybrid work environments. 34% did not respond, resulting in blanks, while the remaining 35% was distributed among tools like Trello, Jira, and other combination. Jira. So we have the king here, GitHub, followed by Jira and Slack, and Jira Slack. And then we have GitHub Bitbucket. Then we have GitHub Bitbucket, Jira Slack 3%. I don't know how. Okay, 70% just use GitHub. 7% use the combination of these and 4% use the combination of this. Okay. Okay, I understand. What do I think of this? Honestly, I think this is valid. This is valid because when I started working, I was working alone majority of the time and I used GitHub. But when I joined the team, we were 3 developers. We're still using GitHub, but we added a project management tool, Asana. Asana is not here, but yeah, we added Asana to our stack and it really helped. So I think this is pretty normal. It's pretty normal. But Jira. The thing about Jira is nice when you are working with like more than I'll say 5 people. That's when you really see Jira shining with and when you're going with Scrum, they have a pre-built Scrum template for you with a whole backlog user story, and how to even connect that to your GitHub commits. Everything is set up for you, so it's really easy to work with. When you have a group of more than 5 developers and you are going with the Scrum framework, it is very nice. But people still hate it for some reason. I just don't know. Maybe when I get there, I'll know why they hate it. Then we have Slack. I've not had a lot of experience with Slack, so I can't say anything for Slack. Education. I hope you didn't miss anything here. Okay. Education. Overview of educational background and qualifications. 14% master's degrees. That's nice. 11% others, and then bachelor's degree is 60. Why am I reading this wrong? I'm supposed to read this from like this, not like this. Anyway, master's degree 40%. Bachelor's degree is 68%. Okay. I think I belong in this category. I have my bachelor's degree. Then we have 11% others. Higher national diploma, HND, 7%. Okay. So I think schools like IPMC, all those kind of boot camp like schools, they offer HND. So I think they belong in this category. We have the likes of IPMC. I went to one before. I did their computer engineering course and I got a certificate how to repair computers and all that. Employment status and benefits. Insights on employment types, job stability, and benefits employees receive. My hand is spinning me. Why am I? Status 15% contract. Okay. Freelance 13%. Full time 62%. Unemployed 7%. Hmm. What is 7% of 196? 196 times 0.7. 13.7 people. That doesn't. I was expecting a whole number. Maybe. So we have like 14 people that are unemployed from this survey. And I think honestly, these people are just starting out. So when I was starting out, I think the first 6 to 8 months, I was unemployed because I was a beginner. Nobody would hire a beginner. So I think the majority of people here, they are beginners. But the moment I leveled up, I got my first internship in August of 2022. And then I've been employed ever since. I mean, I left that job. I got a contract before I became unemployed for a while, and then I got my job back. It's a whole thing. I'll talk about that later. But this is cool. This is cool. Health insurance, 70%, paid time off, PTO, and then performance bonus. Oh, these are all sweet things. You don't get that when you're doing contract, freelance, or unemployed. This is just for the full-time guys. Well, back to the employment status. I think this is very important because Charlie, this job is not easy. You are always sitting down, just trying to think. And we have AI now helping to speed up the process, but yeah, you're expected to actually do more. So the workload increases, and I think it's always good for companies to have this in mind when dealing with developers. Salary ranges. One more thing about this. Lower back pain is real. When you're starting out, don't sit for too long. Just sit for, you can time yourself 30 minutes and get up. It might be distracting, but you can also make it 40 or 1 hour. But don't make it over 1 hour. Don't sit for over an hour. It will really hurt you in the long run. And drink a lot of water. Salary ranges. Compensation varies widely with many professions with many professionals earning below the industry average. Salary values are gross and annual. Respondents who do not select any option counted for 7%. Hence, the total do not sum up to 100%. Okay. So you're expecting 93%. Okay. Less than 50K. This is annually. So 50K annually divided by 12. So meaning they're taking 4,000 basically. 4.1. So basically 4.1K. 38% is less than 50K. And if you do the calculation, you get 4.1K. So basically 38% are taking less than 4K. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then 26% are taken from 50K to 100K. And then we have 15% taken from 100K to 200K per year. Damn, damn. People are cashing out. Then we have 10% taking over 300k. Then we have 10% taking over 300k. Okay. Per year, that's cool. But this is the thing. Developers outside, normal full stack developer, 100k USD, right? So that's divided by 12. That's 8,300 USD per month. And when you convert that into cities, let's say 8k times what's the cities now? Let's say, okay, let me do 10.3. That is 82k per month. But let's say because of the cities, blah blah blah, and all that, this is still a lot of money. This is small money compared to the US salary for the work they are doing. So I get why most developers are looking for opportunities outside because they pay more. So because they pay more. But one thing I believe is this is a growing ecosystem. So yes, I don't expect the salary that is paid to the developers in US to be paid in Ghana here. And I think most developers should focus on getting jobs in Ghana and building solutions here than looking for opportunities outside. That's the only way we can grow this industry to pay developers like how they are paying them in the US. Then we have 4% doing 200k to 300k. Interesting, interesting. But I think this is all good money. It mainly depends on what you are doing. Key insights. Fintech dominance, highest salaries 300k correlates with 7 plus years of experience and remote hybrid roles. Okay. Education impact. Masters/doctorate holders earn 2x more than the HND holders in fintech/healthcare. Of course, I went to school for an extra year. I expect more pay. And geographic disparity. Remote roles for US/Europe based workplaces pay 2 to 5x higher than the Ghanaian base. All right, so some developers in the survey actually work in the Europe or US, making their salary 3x more than the average Ghanaian developer salary. I think they will belong to this category. That makes sense. That makes sense. So you can say about 4 to 10% work remotely for US/Europe based companies. Total preferences. GitHub 95% usage in engineering, Slack 7% in collaboration, and React 80% framework adoption. Dominates across sectors. It's normal. And then challenges and suggested improvements. Infrastructure. Poor infrastructure. Limited funding, lack of collaboration, system downtime, low compensation, overregulation. Yes, this is very prevalent in the fintech. The thing is, fintech companies are very regulated, but there are a lot more there. And even with the regulations, they are still not up to standard. They still have unreliable systems. It's just crazy. I don't know how they do it. Communication issues, burnout. Burnout is real, man. Burnout is real. Burnout is real. As a developer, don't always code. Get real friends in the real world. Just go out there, touch grass, meet people, make friends. Okay. Call your friends, talk to them for hours. Don't just code for long. I'm saying all this, but I don't do majority of them. So I always find myself burning out over after a few months of just hard working. But this is something I'm trying to do more. Just be out there and doing other things apart from coding. And unrealistic deadlines. So true. Lack of career development. I think this happens when you have too much security. Like you think you have a stable job, so you're okay now. So you don't bother to learn new things and grow. Open source adoption. What do they mean by this? I don't know. Infrastructure investments, improved collaboration. This is something I always talk about. Developers need to talk to more developers. More funding. Very true. Better internet. Training programs, gender diversity initiatives, standardized salaries, tech events, and then regulatory support. Recommendations for government: invest in infrastructure, promote gender diversity, and create policies that support tech innovation. Okay, infrastructure. I don't know, this is very vague. This should be more detailed. And then promote gender diversity. This is a pretty open field, so anybody who has the will and desire to learn it will be able to learn it and do well. Then create policies that support tech innovation. Yes, I think this is an important thing. The I want to talk about the 1 million coders initiative. It's a good idea, but I think the implementation is not the best. That's all I have to say. Maybe I'll dive deeper into it more some other time. For companies, standardized salaries, offer professional development opportunities. Yes, so companies can, and this happens very often in the US, they have an allowance for developers to go to tech conferences and just go and network. And they have allowances for developers to learn new courses every year and improve upon their skills. I think that's something that needs to be more common here. And adopt best practices and adopt best practice and adopt best and adopt best practices in collaboration. Damn. For educational institutions, align curricula with industry needs and promote tech education among underrepresented groups. And I mentioned this in my last video. We need to stop teaching programming like it is biology. Programming is not something that you can just memorize and then go and write the same thing on paper and expect it to work. No, you have to practice it and it needs to be hands on. And you can't really know every single thing. Some things you need the IDE to help you to achieve them. So I don't think the way that programming is being taught right now is the best way. Introduce students to IDEs, code editors, let them start using them in classes and in exams, give them assignments or give them problems that they need to work in an IDE live to solve them. I don't know how the whole process is going to be, but that's how real software development is done. So I expect that same thing should be taught to the students in the schools. That's the only way they can grow. That's the only way they can be ready for the industry. And for startups, seek partnerships, secure funding, and focus on product management and collaboration. Seek partnerships, yes. Secure funding, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to do. And focus on product management and collaboration. This is a very broad term in the sense that there are so many things a startup needs to do that's just covering it with product management doesn't really um mention everything. But I guess they are just trying to summarize it to school. I think this year's phone it should be more detailed for this thing should be more detailed. Closing notes. You're finally here. The Ghana Tech Ecosystem Survey 2024 provides a snapshot of the current state of the tech industry in Ghana. While the ecosystem is vibrant and growing, there are challenges that need to be addressed to unlock its full potential. We look forward to making this an annual survey, tracking progress, and identifying emerging trends. Together, we look forward to building a thriving tech ecosystem in Ghana. In acknowledgement, we thank all corresponding partners and team members who contributed to this survey. Special thanks to our sponsors and partners for their support. Sponsors, we have Paystack there, and then Gamers Hive. I don't know this company. We they manage academy. That's interesting. And then we have partners, Kweku Tech, Building Bytes. I I know Building Bytes on Twitter. I know Kweku Tech on Twitter. The rest I'm not so familiar with them. But thanks to them for sponsoring this. And so far I think this is good work. The graphics is nice, the PDF is nice, the design is perfect. And I think this is a small team trying to do this. So they have really done well. They really done well. What I'd like to see is the web version of this of the analysis, which is interactive for people who wants to go deep into it and see every single data that they've gathered. But this is good work so far. It might be it might be a lot of work for them because they are a small team. I'll reach out to them to see how I can help. But I think this is good work so far. This is good work. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the developer survey conducted by Code and Cocktails. I think it's called Ecosystem Survey, Ghana Tech Ecosystem Survey. So there'll be another one this year, 2025, 1st of August. I'll put a link in the description so you can keep it, and then when it's time, you go and participate. Let me know what you think about all this. If you have something that you agree with or disagree with, or you think there's an improvement they can make to this, just leave it down in the comment section. I'll reach out to them to see how I can help. But apart from that, I don't have anything else to say about this. And yes, that's all I have to say about this. Again, nice website. They are doing something here. Join the Tech Party of the Year, 28th November to be determined. Let's see. I think it's some sort of events. Let's see how it goes. They've organized past events to before. Let me see the past events. Then this. Oh, okay, this is interesting. International Utility Plus, an online presence. You can go to their website and then see what they do, who they work with. I think they are doing well. This is what I like to see. I didn't know this existed, and I'm glad I came across it. And I'm going to do my best to let you know if I find any other community like this, or if Code and Cocktails is doing something that I think is interesting. I'll come here and I'll share it. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.